So welcome to JavaScript webinar from JPassion.com. Today's topic is JavaScript frameworks and toolkits. Topic number 5. So let's go to the presentation. So types of Web 2.0 toolkit and framework solutions of today. So this is not just JavaScript, but basically overall Web 2.0 or rich internet application frameworks. And one group of frameworks are based on client-side JavaScript libraries, and they include Dojo, jQuery, and EXT.js. And then there is what is called RMI, like remoting via proxy, and this is direct web remoting, DWR in short. So we're going to take a look at DWR as one of the topics in this course. And then we have a Java to JavaScript HTML translator, GWT. I'm thinking about actually creating a GWT course. So you used to have a GWT topic as one of the topics, but it is actually not covered in this course because GWT is a big enough topic that will be covered in a separate course. And then Ajax-based JSF components, Ajax-enabled JSF components, and web application frameworks. So let's take a look at each of these via technology groups in a bit more detail. By the way, the goal of this presentation, oh, wait a minute. You cannot hear? Can people hear me okay? Okay, good, excellent. So, all right, good. The goal of this presentation is not to talk about each of these technologies in detail, but just to give you a sense of high-level picture of what technology is possible. So let's talk about the client-side JavaScript libraries, and these are in fact the focus of this course. So Dojo, Toolkit, and jQuery, and EXT.js, those are popular client-side libraries, JavaScript libraries. So if you see the architecture of your application using client-side JavaScript libraries, it looks like this. On the bottom, on the bottom, you have XML HTTP request object and iframe object. These are actually used for communicating with the server, and then there could be some utilities. And then typical library also provide what is called the remoting abstraction layer. So it actually hides the complexity of using XML HTTP request and iframe. And then they also provide the widgets and components. And here you're going to use all this to write your HTML page, JSP pages, and JavaScript code. So what are the characteristics of client-side JavaScript libraries? First of all, they are server-side technology agnostic, meaning you can use any server-side technology of your choice, and you can obviously use Java EE, .NET, PHP, Ruby on Rails, Grails, or Lift, whatever server-side technology that you like. And you can use them, meaning you can use client-side libraries in combination if you want to, because different JavaScript libraries might in fact provide different widgets and different utilities, and sometimes you want to use different widgets and different utilities from different sources, meaning different JavaScript libraries. These are the technical reasons for using client-side JavaScript libraries for building Web 2.0 or Web 3.0, the via application. So it handles remote asynchronous communication. So sometimes it's called again remoting. It basically hides the low-level XML HTTP request operation. So next week, we are going to, tomorrow we're going to actually cover Ajax basics. Here, we are going to actually use this low-level XML HTTP request for performing asynchronous operation. Okay, but in reality, you are going to use client-side JavaScript libraries such as the Dojo Toolkit or jQuery or Prototype or EXT.js, they actually provide high-level abstraction of this XML HTTP request. Handles graceful degradation as well. So suppose if your browser does not support XML HTTP request, if you have a browser that is very old, meaning more than 5 years old, it's likely that it doesn't support, in fact, XML HTTP request. In that case, it might actually use the toolkit library, JavaScript toolkit library. It might actually use iframe as an alternative, so that it actually provides the seamless behavior to the user. It provides page navigation hooks over Ajax, for example, back and forward buttons behavior, and also bookmarking behavior. Technical reasons for using client-side JavaScript libraries. Again, continuation of that. So they also use ready-to-use widgets, tree, calendar, text field, buttons, split panes, fisheye. So a lot of those, the widgets are actually readily available. You can use right there in your code. And they typically provide easier to use DOM utility APIs. So, we actually take a look at DOM APIs the day before yesterday, and you could see DOM APIs are somewhat pretty low level and tedious to use. So JavaScript libraries, they also provide typically easier to use DOM APIs, and provides useful JavaScript utilities, for example, table management and timer and things like that. They also provide error handling hooks. So writing error handling code is actually, the hooking up error handling code is actually pretty simple thing to do, and provides more flexible event handling. So, for example, Dojo provides not only for handling DOM events, but also function call events. And they also provide AOP style event handling. So, for example, what you can do is that whenever a particular function is invoked, I want to actually call another function before and after, or just before, and things like that. So it provides more flexible and powerful event handling schemes. Let's see. Srinivas says, you can't hear you. So people can hear me okay? All right, good. It is fine. All right. Yeah, so maybe, all right, good. So it looks like people are actually hearing me fine. Thank you. So continuation of technical reasons for using client-side JavaScript library. These libraries also provides animation and drag and drop features and fade out and fade in. So a lot of the animation features, and we're gonna actually kind of play around with these things today. And they generally encourages object-oriented programming style. So JavaScript language is designed to be very expressive. What that means is that unless you are careful, it's very easy to write a spaghetti code. So it's actually pretty easy not to write object-oriented programming style JavaScript code. So these libraries, in fact, provide a way of actually encouraging you write the JavaScript code in object-oriented programming style. So they might, in fact, have a class like utilities, for example, creating a class like utilities and, having inheritance kind of features. So you can actually use these APIs more like what you're writing object-oriented programming style like in Java. Okay, so these are business reasons for using client-side JavaScript libraries. And these libraries, especially if you're talking about Dojo or jQuery or EXT.js, they are proven in the marketplace. They are in fact being used in production environment. And they provide all this library, and their quality probably is actually better than your own. And establish developer and user communities. So community keeps improving and adding features to these libraries, and you can certainly get some help from community members on any questions you might in fact have. And it's relatively easy to use these libraries. These are just the libraries, so as long as you have them in your root directory of your web application or on your server, or just having
that library through the the source attribute, and then you are ready to use those libraries. Very easy to use them. And tool support, for example, you might take advantage of jQuery plugin for Eclipse, and that provides jQuery code completion and things like that. So popular client-side JavaScript libraries include jQuery. I would say this is probably the most popular JavaScript libraries at the moment. And Doja Toolkit is also popular, and it actually provides pretty comprehensive set of features. Okay? And EXT.js is also gaining popularity. So I would say these three are, in fact, probably the most popular client-side JavaScript libraries that are in use. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I think Dennis was mentioning. Don't forget, the Yahoo UI. Yeah, yeah. I probably should actually include Yahoo UI too. I agree with you. And there are other client-side JavaScript libraries, such as Script Kilo Us. This is kind of getting old. And Vico and DHTML Goody. So these are actually kind of fading out, I think. So I would say jQuery is actually kind of really gaining momentum, and so this is probably not that much popular anymore. All right, moving forward. So RMI like remoting via proxy. So again, the typical the example of this RMI like remoting technology is DWR, direct web remoting. So direct web remoting, this is an architecture. So basically, if you have some Java code on the server side, and if you want to expose those Java code to the client, and then you can use RMI. Okay, so basically, it provides a framework where you can actually create the client side the code. It will generate, in fact, proxy for your Java method. And this proxy is basically JavaScript code, and you can just use this proxy just like a regular JavaScript code. Okay? So the reason you might want to use DWR is because if you happen to have, in fact, several methods in your Java class that you want to expose to the client, meaning JavaScript-based client, one option you have is, in fact, you have to actually have, the client to be able to access, for example, by, sending HTTP request. That means that every method that you have in your class has to have a URI, okay? Because when the client is sending XML HTTP request, meaning HTTP request, they have to have an address. And also the marshalling and unmarshalling of the parameters also have to be taken care of, okay? So basically, DWR handles these things for you. Okay? So DWR provides a client-server framework that addresses these two problems. Okay? And it also comes with some JavaScript utility, utility functions and utility APIs. Okay, question from Mahesh. Where does Ajax fit in here? So we're going to talk about Ajax in detail tomorrow. So why don't you actually hold that question off? Okay. Next set of technology. Next technology is GWT. GWT is very popular. So GWT is basically providing Java code to JavaScript and HTML translator. So basically, it lets you build your application using Java, and then when you are ready, meaning you finish your debugging and testing, then you are going to use Java to JavaScript compiler, and it's basically translating your Java code to JavaScript, okay? And then you can just deploy your application. So it lets you develop and debug your Ajax application in Java language, leveraging popular IDEs of IDE of your Java programming, for example, Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ IDEA, and things like that. You can certainly actually build GWT application at the command line. Okay? So basically, as I said before, it provides Java to JavaScript compiler. So why GWT? So there is no need to learn JavaScript language, in fact. So if you have Java programming experience, especially Swing, experience, then usage of GWT is very straightforward. In fact, GWT provides very much like a Swing-like API. So you write your code using Swing-like APIs, and then you can actually compile into JavaScript code. And it also handles browser incompatibilities for you. Okay? And it also handles, for example, forward and backward buttons and browser history and things like that. And no need to learn and use DOM APIs because you're using Java APIs. And no need to build commonly used widgets because GWT comes with widgets. Okay? I mean, those are Java widgets. What does GWT stand for? It stands for Google Web Toolkit. Alright, so continuation of why you want to use GWT. It leverages various tools of Java programming language for writing and debugging and testing. Okay? Something I mentioned. It comes with a JUnit integration, so it lets you actually, it basically is kind of built in into the framework, and it does support internationalization. Okay, moving forward, the next set of technology is AJAX-enabled JSF components. And these JSF components include JavaScript code internally. So, basically component encapsulate the usage of Java code as well as the JavaScript code. So AJAX-enabled JSF components hides all the complexity of JavaScript and AJAX programming. And so page authors does not need to know JavaScript. It basically, you can just include this AJAX JSF components, and then, that component will do all the dirty work for you. So the burden is shifted to component developers. So if JSF component is designed to behave in AJAX fashion and all the built-in bells and whistles, and then page authors, all they have to do is just use them in their code. And it leverages the drag and drop web application development model of JSF through an IDE. So, when you're building Swing application, you could actually drag and drop Swing components, and then the IDE actually build the source code for you, right? Same thing can be done when building web application if you're using JSF. So vendors, IDEs, in fact, provide these JSF-enabled the AJAX-enabled JSF components, and then you should be able to drag and drop those components to build your web application. And underneath, IDEs should be able to build the source code. Okay? And these JSF components are reusable. In fact, they are components. All right, moving forward. The last set of technologies that you might want to consider is a web application framework that contains this AJAX extension. And pretty much all the modern web application frameworks have a built-in support of AJAX. Okay? So existing web application frameworks add AJAX functionality. In fact, all the web application frameworks, it's actually pretty easy to add AJAX functionality, even by yourself. Okay, but pretty much all the web application frameworks comes with this AJAX functionality anyway. And it does use JavaScript client library internally. So these are examples of web application frameworks: Shell, and Echo 2, and the Wicket, and Ruby on Rails. So the question is, what should I use for building rich internet application? So these are the guidelines on the UI side. So if your organization is already using JSF, then you might want to consider usage of AJAX-enabled JSF components, especially JSF 2.0 components, because JSF 2.0 has a huge improvement, including built-in AJAX support. If you want to have a total control on the client side, JavaScript coding with a server-side technology independence, then you might want to use a client-side JavaScript library such as the Dojo or jQuery or EXTJS or the Yahoo UI toolkit. If you are already using Swing application and you have a Swing expertise in your organization, then you might want to consider GWT. On the business logic side, if you have a Java EE business logic on the backend, and then if you want to expose those business logic to the client, JavaScript-based client, then consider usage of GWR. And also you can use GWT for your front-end logic, leveraging Java-based backend business logic through GWT RPC. So GWT, you can actually build your front end, using Swing-like APIs, and then you're going to actually have this JavaScript code. But you still want to have your backend in Java. If you're already using popular web application framework for building majority of your web application, then you might want to consider upgrading to the latest version of the particular framework that you're using, because it's highly likely that they have this AJAX functionality. Alright, so that is the end of the presentation. So let's actually go to the hands-on lab. So hands-on lab is basically playing around with demos. Okay, so we're going to actually try exercise 1, that is playing around with several client-side JavaScript toolkit libraries, including Dojo, including jQuery, including EXTJS, including Yahoo UI toolkit. And another thing I didn't mention is GK framework. It has been popular a bit, and it was actually gaining some popularity, then I don't hear that much anymore. And direct web remoting and web application framework. So I'm going to actually focus on exercise 1, which is JavaScript libraries. Okay. So now you can actually click this link, comparison of JavaScript framework, and the Wikipedia in fact have this comparison of all JavaScript frameworks. Okay, so in fact there are a bunch, and it does cover the size, licensing model, the source language, demos, and also the the feature comparison. Okay, all right. So now let's actually go to each of this technology demo site and actually play around this. So let's actually go with the Dojo first. So I'm going to go to Dojo demo site. You just click this link, and you can see Dojo actually provides a lot of demos. Okay, so I'm going to actually try a few. So geocharting. So you can actually move your mouse around, and you can see these things is like working like some scroll, and you can see I can click these things, and that these things are also changed. Okay? And I can move things around, and I can see whether that doesn't work. Okay, let's actually go to maybe another one. So spider chart. So here, this is a spider chart for information, and so I can actually do some animation. So I'm gonna just select all the possible animation of easing. So you can see it's actually doing some animation like that. Okay, all right. And what about this chart plot types? Okay, so I can choose different themes. And you should be able to have an access to all the source code. Okay, so you can leverage all this the features. Okay, so this is Dojo, and right now, by the way, a lot of these frameworks also support mobile side of the mobility is actually gaining quite the importance. So most of these libraries also provide mobile client. Okay. So this is a rich web application, so you can have the grid. Okay. Select all, so you can just deselect all. Yeah, so basically that's Dojo Toolkit. Now let's go to Scriptoculus. So we're gonna go to some animation. So I'm gonna just click this one, and I'll just click animation, and you can actually have all these animations. Okay. All right, and again, it does support drag and drop, Ajax, and DOM utilities, unit testing, and a lot of other things. So this is script classes. And then Rico. I think Rico actually this afternoon I tried to do it, and yeah, so somehow the demos are unavailable right now. We hope to have them back online soon. So this guy is actually having some issues on their website. Not a good sign. So I'm gonna just move ahead. The HTML goodies. Okay, so I'm gonna try maybe menus, and I'm gonna just try demo 2. Yeah, so these are the menus that you can use. Okay. So that didn't work like this. And it does actually provide the source code for doing it. Okay. And not that one. So this is Yahoo, the Yahoo UI user interface library. So let's actually go to here. We'll try with the UI 3 version 3. Get started. So I'll just try this one. Oh, actually, I was actually trying. So you can actually draw something. I think. Yeah, it doesn't draw. Oh, here we go. Okay. And they have simple calendar with selection. Toggle previous. Okay. So it does come with the complete source code. Yeah, so most of these demos, they actually provide the source code as well. Okay, so let's see, that's Yahoo UI user interface libraries. And the next one is, yeah, actually this one, I was actually looking for this one. I just captured this one this afternoon, dial with interactive UI, and you were able to actually kind of dial these things. Okay, let me try one more time. I actually don't find it right now. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is the one I was looking for. So you can just move around like this. This is cute. Okay, let's see. So that's Yahoo and EXTJS. Okay, so again, EXTJS samples. So samples and demos. Yeah, so I'll try web desktop. It just provides like desktop like UI, which is nice.
So I select the this one. You can see it's almost like your desktop, right? System status. Okay. All right, that's from ext.js. Oops. And Spry. So Spry actually was bought by Adobe, and they actually have Adobe-like UI. Spry samples. Let's try this one. Okay. That's right. Progressive enhanced version of products demo. Okay. Okay, check if this is the one I was trying. Yeah, so you can see it's definitely Adobe flavor. Okay. All right, let's see. So we actually take a look, a lot of the JavaScript libraries, okay, and GK framework. So you can just go to those demos. Yeah, so these are all examples. Okay, the next one is direct web remoting, and here we can actually cover DWI as one of the topics later on, so I'm gonna just move ahead. And then web application framework with Ajax extension, so widgets. Like you can actually have this kind of UI, editable UI, tree structure, echo 2 and echo 3. So the web applications actually provides pretty decent set of client-side VR kind of functionality. Okay, so I gave you a sense of what VR technologies are available out there, including client-side JavaScript libraries. Okay, so that is the end of the presentation today. So let me